Armor and clothing are one of the most important factors that determine the success of your adventures in DayZ, but most players, probably yourself included, know nothing about it. Many players simply choose fashion or what looks cool over protection, stealth and functionality. But I promise you're going to want to watch to the end of this video because I'm going to show you the best possible loadout in DayZ to make you nearly invincible. Because in this video I've delved into the depths of the DayZ files to tell you everything you need to know about armor and clothing in DayZ. So let's start with the important stuff, kids: protection. There are 3 types of damages that you can take in DayZ. Health damage, represented by this icon in the bottom of your screen and is measured out of 100, resulting in the death of your character when it reaches 0. But remember, your health will regenerate slowly over time when a player is well hydrated, well fed and has enough blood. The second type of damage you can take is shock damage. The player's shock threshold is hidden, but once a player receives over 75 shock damage, they will fall unconscious. Do note though that shock damage quickly heals. And then finally, blood damage, represented by this icon in the bottom of your screen and is measured out of 5,000. Once the player reaches 3,000 blood, they will take shock damage every second, and once the player reaches 2,500, they will die. It's important to note that armor and clothing do not reduce the amount of blood you lose, but instead decrease your chances of receiving a bleed when attacked. Some legendary items reduce this chance to 0, providing you with bleed immunity, and I'll be pointing these out throughout the video. You can receive these 3 types of damages from 4 different attacks: explosive, infected, melee, and of course projectiles. However, receiving projectile shock and health damages varies depending on where you've been hit, with each body part having a different multiplier. So, for example, assuming you have no armor and have been hit with a bullet dealing 100 damage, you'll receive the following damages: 200 health damage and 300 shock damage if hit in the head, 100 health damage and 100 shock damage if hit in the torso, 10 health damage and 33 shock damage if hit in the arms, 10 health damage and 10 shock damage if hit in the hands, 30 health damage and 33 shock damage if hit in the legs, and 12 health damage and 10 shock damage if hit in the feet. This means you take significantly more damage when hit in the head or torso than any other body part, making it extremely important to wear armor. So let's start with the most important piece of armor: headgear. Headgear varies depending on the situation, so I'm going to break this guide into 3 different sections: projectile protections, melee and infected protection, which nearly always deal the same amount of damage, and finally explosive protection, with a conclusion at the end to help you decide which one is best overall. There are 5 tiers of helmets when it comes to projectile protection. In tier 1, we have a hockey helmet providing 10% health and shock protection with 130 hit points. An item's hit points are similar to that of a player's health and receive damage based on the gear's protection values. So, for example, the hockey helmet has 130 hit points. If shot by a Ruger, which does 20 damage, it would only take 18 health damage, as the 10% protection from projectile health damage still applies. When an item loses all of its hit points, it becomes ruined and offers no protection. This means that it's extremely important to keep your items repaired. This is also true for the item as it ruins. For example, if it is badly damaged and shot, the shot that ruins the item will also inflict maximum damage. For the rest of the video, I'll be referring to hit points as their true hit points. This takes into consideration the item's protection value and is a more accurate representation of how much damage is required to ruin the item. As for example, if a helmet with 80 HP and 50% protection was shot with a bullet dealing 100 damage, it would only take 50 damage and still have 30 HP, whereas a helmet with 100 HP and no protection will take 100 damage and become ruined. So in this case, a hockey helmet would have 145 true hit points. So, the tier 1 helmets provide both 10% health protection and shock protection from projectiles, and in this tier you have both a construction helmet and a tank helmet with 67 true hit points, a skate helmet with 133 true hit points, and again the hockey helmet with 145 true hit points. Tier 2 helmets provide 25% health protection and 10% shock protection from projectiles and include the following helmets: the motorbike helmet with 80 true hit points, the firefighter helmet with 93 true hit points, dirt bike helmet with 100 true hit points, and the welding mask with 163 true hit points. Tier 3 helmets are a bit unique. These are all the medieval helmets and offer different health protections. The key thing to note is that these helmets offer no shock protection when it comes to projectiles. The witch hood, which provides 30% health protection with 314 true hit points. The chainmail coif provides 35% health protection with 308 true hit points. The Norse helmet provides 45% health protection with 291 true hit points, and the Great Helm provides 50% health protection with 250 true hit points. Currently, Tier 4 just includes the pilot helmet, offering 50% health protection and 25% shock protection with 175 true hit points. In Tier 5, we have the best helmets in the game, which provide 75% health protection and 50% shock protection. We have the ballistic and camouflage helmet with 300 true hit points, the tactical helmet with 320 true hit points, the SSH-68 helmet with 340 true hit points, and the Gorka helmet with 400 true hit points, making it the best helmet in the game for projectile protection. In terms of melee and infected protection, there are also 5 tiers. Tier 1 helmets offer 35% health protection and 15% shock protection from melee and infected attacks and are as followed. The pumpkin helmet, which only offers melee and infected protection and has a staggering 714 true hit points. The construction and tanker helmet with 171 true hit points. The skate helmet with 343 true hit points and a hockey helmet with 371 true hit points. Tier 2 helmets still offer 35% health protection but better shock protection from melee and infected attacks and are as followed. The welder mask with 371 true hit points and offers 25% shock protection, and the chainmail coif with 571 true hit points and offers 35% shock protection. Tier 3 helmets still only offer 35% health protection but even better shock protection at 45% from melee and infected attacks. It's important to stress how important shock protection is for melee fights, as once you go unconscious, the fight is basically over for you. Both the pilot helmet and dirt bike helmet have 214 true hit points, and the witch coif has 629 true hit points. Tier 4 helmets offer 45% health protection and 50% shock protection and are as followed. The firefighter helmet with 156 true hit points, the ballistic helmet with 167 true hit points, the tactical helmet with 179 true hit points, the SS68 helmet with 189 true hit points, and the Norse helmet with 365 true hit points. In Tier 5, we have the best helmets in the game for melee and infected attacks with 65% health and shock protection. We have the motorbike helmet with 92 true hit points, making it one of the best items you can come across on the coast, and the Gorka helmet with 154 true hit points, making it the best helmet for protection against projectile, melee and infected attacks. And then we have the Great Helm with 192 true hit points. When it comes to explosive protection, there are only 3 tiers. Tier 1 offering 35% health and shock protection from explosives, which include the following: chainmail coif, Norse helm and witch hood. Tier 2 offering 50% health and shock protection from explosives, which include the following: pilot helmet, construction helmet, motorbike helmet, Gorka helmet, firefighter helmet, skate helmet, welder mask, great helm, SSH68 helmet, dirt bike helmet and hockey helmet. And then Tier 3 helmets, which are only slightly better, still offering 50% health protection but 75% shock protection from explosive, which includes the tanker helmet, ballistic helmet and tactical helmet. Before we conclude which helmet is best, we must acknowledge that many other variables go into each item, from weight, visibility, absorbency and even installation, which can make some items better in specific situations. For example, the tanker helmet is great against explosives and the cold with its high insulation, but not so great against a bullet. The tactical helmet, great helmet, Gorka helmet and motorbike helmet offer full bleed protection from every type of attack to the head, meaning you can't receive a bleed on the head while wearing these items. Having said this, projectile, melee and infected health protection stats are probably the most important. This makes the Gorka helmet the best helmet in the game, providing the best possible protection from projectile, melee and infected attacks and the second best protection from explosive attacks. In addition, it provides bleed immunity and has 100 base hit points, making it quite difficult to ruin. Having said this, the motorbike helmet should not be overlooked. It has the best possible melee and infected protection, making it one of the best items you can find on the coast. In fact, you're more likely to knock out a player with a tactical helmet on than one wearing a motorbike helmet. The next piece of gear is face masks, and this is rather simple, as a hockey mask is the only face mask classed as armour, providing 15% health protection and 20% shock protection from melee and infected attacks. However, having said this, it may be more wise to wear another mask which offers biological protections to protect against catching diseases of other players. The balaclava offers 25% biological protection, the surgical and mine mask offer 50% protection, and the dusk mask offers 75% protection, with of course the gas masks offering full biological protection and full chemical protection if attached with a filter. Vests might just be the most important piece of armour. Protecting the largest part of your character, it's important you get any vest on quickly. There are 8 types of vests in the game, which all offer melee and infected protections, but only half offer projectile and explosive protections. The vests can be generalised into 3 tiers of protection for melee and infected attacks. The Tier 1 vests provide 20% health and shock protection for both melee and infected attacks, and this includes the UK Assault Vest and High Capacity Vest with 150 true hit points, the Hunting Vest with 162 true hit points, and the Leather Vest with 250 true hit points. The Tier 2 vests provide 25% health protection and 45% shock protection for melee and infected attacks, which includes the Police Vest with 140 true hit points and the Press Vest with 227 true hit points. Tier 3 offers the best melee and infected protection at 70% health protection and 75% shock protection, which includes the chest plate with 833 true hit points and of course the plate carrier with 750 true hit points. For projectile protection, Tier 1 vests offer no protections and includes the UK Assault Vest, High Capacity Vest, Leather Storage Vest and Hunting Vest. In Tier 2, the Press Vest and Police Assault Vest offer 50% health protection and 25% shock protection from projectile attacks, with the Police Vest having 210 true hit points and the Press Vest having 340 true hit points. The Medieval Chestplate offers slightly less health protection at 45%, but offers 35% shock protection, and is twice as durable with 455 true hit points. There is only one Tier 3 vest in the game, being the Plate Carrier, offering 70% health protection and 40% shock protection with 750 true hit points, making it by far the best vest in the game. For explosives, the Tier 1 vests offer no protections and include the UK Assault Vest, High Capacity Vest, Leather Storage Vest and Hunting Vest. The Chestplate is the worst vest in Tier 2, offering 45% health protection and 35% shock protection with 455 true hit points. The Press Vest and Police Vest are ever so slightly better, offering 50% health and shock protection, with the Police Vest having 210 true hit points and the Press Vest having 340 true hit points. The best vest and only Tier 3 vest for explosive protection is yet again the Plate Carrier, offering 50% health protection and 74% shock protection with 550 true hit points. So, to conclude, the Plate Carrier is obviously the best in nearly every situation, unless you're expecting to have a very lengthy melee or infected fight, where the Chestplate is ever so slightly better due to having more hit points. Early game, you should be trying to get your hands on a Police Vest, Press Vest or Chestplate, and you should not swap these out for any other vest until you come across a Plate Carrier. There are 5 tiers of protection for jackets which only offer melee and infected protections, with the exception of one legendary item which offers additional protections from projectile and explosive attacks. Tier 1 jackets offer no armor protections and include the t-shirt, mini dress, improvised t-shirt, medical scrubs, nurse dress and blouse. Tier 2 jackets offer 5% health protection and no shock protection from melee and infected attacks. The shirt with 74 true hit points, a tactical shirt with 95 true hit points, the hoodie, prisoner jacket, lab coat, NBC jacket, Telinska shirt, China sports shirt, suit jacket and tracksuit jacket with 105 true hit points, a raincoat, the regular police jacket and quilted jacket with 126 true hit points, a bomber jacket and Gorka jacket with 137 true hit points, a sweater with 139 true hit points, and the hiking jacket with 158 true hit points. Tier 3 jackets offer 10% health protection and no shock protection and include the paramedic jacket and police OL jacket with 144 true hit points, the denim jacket and wool coat with 155 true hit points, the jumpsuit jacket with 178 true hit points, and the TTSKO jacket with 200 true hit points. Tier 4 jackets offer 15% health protection and 20% shock protection, making them considerably better than Tier 3 in reducing knockouts. These jackets include the Hunter jacket with 176 true hit points, the Rider's jacket with 200 true hit points, the M65 jacket, Firefighter's jacket, UMC jacket and BDU jacket with 212 true hit points, and then finally the leather jacket and shirt with 235 true hit points. In Tier 5 we have the legendary Chainmail jacket, the only jacket which offers projectile and explosive protection, offering 30% health protection but no shock protection from projectile attacks, 35% health and shock protection from explosive attacks, and it also offers the best melee and infected protection with 40% health and shock protection from melee and infected attacks, making it the best jacket in the game. What's important to note is that some military jackets such as the tactical shirt and Gorka jacket aren't that strong, so as a fresh spawn you should try to obtain either a Rider's jacket, Firefighter jacket or Hunting jacket. When it comes to protecting your grubby little hands, there's 4 tiers of gloves which only provide melee and infected protections. Tier 1, which offers no protection and includes improvised surgical wool gloves and padded gloves. NBC gloves are the only Tier 2 gloves, offering 5% health protection and no shock protection from melee and infected attacks with 126 true hit points. Tier 3 gloves offer 10% health protection and no shock protection from melee and infected attacks and include the working gloves with 167 true hit points and leather gloves with 222 true hit points. Tier 4 gloves provide the best protection with 15% health protection and 20% shock protection from melee and infected attacks and include tactical gloves with 194 true hit points and combat gloves with 212 true hit points. There are 5 tiers of pants in DayZ which only offer melee and infected protection, with the exception of one legendary item which offers additional protections from projectile and explosive attacks. Tier 1 provides no protections and these include breeches, short jeans, skirts and improvised pants. Tier 2 armor provides 5% health protection and no shock protection from melee and infected attacks and include canvas pants, NBC pants and tracksuit pants with 105 true hit points, and the Gorka pants and regular police pants with 137 true hit points. Tier 3 pants offer 10% health protection and no shock protection from melee and infected attacks and include medical scrubs with 89 true hit points, slack pants and prisoner pants with 111 true hit points, and interestingly the shorter canvas pants which are better than the longer ones and have 111 true hit points, jeans with 156 true hit points, cargo, police overall, paramedic pants and finally jumpsuit pants all with 167 true hit points. Tier 4 pants provide 15% health protection and 10% shock protection from melee and infected attacks and include hunter pants with 176 true hit points, BDU and USMC pants with 188 true hit points, TTSKO pants with 200 true hit points, Firefighter pants with 212 true hit points, and Leather pants with 235 true hit points. Finally, in Tier 5, we once again have Chainmail, which are the only pants in the game to offer projectile and explosive protections, offering 30% health and no shock protection from projectiles, 35% health and shock protection from explosives, and 40% shock and health protection from melee and infected attacks, with 416 true hit points. There's 5 tiers of shoes only offering melee and infected protections. Tier 1 shoes offer no protections and include sneakers, NBC boots, ballerina shoes, improvised shoes. Tier 2 shoes offer 5% health protection and no shock protection from infected and melee attacks and include athletic shoes with 84 true hit points, wellies with 105 true hit points, and low hiking boots with 137 true hit points. All Tier 3 shoes offer 10% health protection from melee and infected attacks with varying protections from shock damage, with dress shoes having 89 true hit points and providing 5% shock protection, jogging shoes with 111 true hit points and 5% shock protection, leather shoes with 222 true hit points and 5% shock protection, hiking boots with 167 true hit points and 10% shock protection, and jungle boots with 200 true hit points and 25% shock protection. Medieval boots are the only Tier 4 boots, providing 15% health protection and 20% shock protection with 176 true hit points. Tier 5 shoes are the best shoes in the game and have 25% health protection and 25% shock protection and include working boots with 173 true hit points, combat boots with 213 true hit points, and military boots with 240 true hit points. As well as armor, additional factors such as durability and sound dramatically determine the value of a shoe. There are 3 sound levels for shoes: barefoot, being silent, sneakers, which include combat boots, hiking boots, runner shoes, athletic shoes, sneakers, dress shoes, and the feet wrap, and then boots, which are the loudest and include assault boots, jungle boots, hunter boots, medieval boots, working boots, wellies, and NBC boots. When it comes to durability, this is very much based on shoes' hit points, not to be confused with true hit points, which takes into account its protection. The best shoes for durability are listed in the following order: improvised with 15 hit points, ballerina shoes, NBC boots, sneakers, dress shoes, and athletic shoes with 80 hit points, wellies and running shoes with 100 hit points, hiking and working boots with 130 hit points, medieval boots with 150 hit points, hunter boots with 160 hit points, making them twice as good as the normal athletic shoes, combat boots with 170 hit points, and jungle and assault boots with 180. This makes combat boots the best shoe in the game, being a Tier 5 shoe and nearly having the most durability while being quieter than other boots. So, with everything considered, what is the most protective and durable gear you can wear in DayZ? Well, the Gorka helmet with a hockey face mask, both chainmail jacket and pants with a plate carrier on top, and then both combat gloves and combat boots. With this setup, your head will have 75% health protection and 50% shock protection from projectile attacks, and because you are wearing both the Gorka helmet and face mask, a combined 70% health protection and 72% shock protection from melee and infected attacks, and 50% health and shock protection from explosive attacks. Because you are wearing both the jacket and plate carrier, your torso will have a combined 79% health and 40% shock protection from projectiles, a combined 82% health and 85% shock protection from melee and infected attacks, and a combined 68% health and 83% shock protection from explosive attacks. Your arms will have no shock protection but 30% health protection from projectile attacks, 40% health and shock protection from melee and infected attacks, and 35% health and shock protection from explosive attacks. Your hands will have 15% health and 20% shock protection from melee and infected attacks, and your legs will have no shock protection but 30% health protection from projectile attacks, 40% health and shock protection from melee and infected attacks, and 35% health and shock protection from explosive attacks. Your feet will have both 25% health and shock protection from melee and infected attacks. You will also have bleed immunity on your head, torso, and legs. So that's everything for today's video. What piece of armour surprised you the most? And if you did learn something new, remember to like and subscribe to keep up to date on the best DayZ tips and tricks. If you like this video, you'll probably also like this one.